I think you already know by now that anything that feels simple always gets my vote, always. So I think you're going to love my easy model for simple scaling because when we're scaling your business, I know that you want to scale your income, but I also know that you don't want to do that with a scaling up of your time and energy at the same time. So we want to make more money. We want to be able to support more clients and do that in the best way possible without it taking loads more of your time and loads more of your energy. Because, well, let's face it, I know that you don't have loads more time and loads more energy to give, right? So how do we scale income without scaling time and energy? Now, there's a strategic piece to this in that, yes, we have to have the right offer suite, we have to have the right pricing, we have to have offers that are truly scalable. But I think you're going to really like these very simple four lenses that we can look at your scaling plan through. And I'm going to ask you some coaching questions. I want you to grab a notepad, grab, a pen, and just sit and think about these four different areas in relation to your plan to scale your income. Okay. So let's get into it. It's called the EASY model because it's an acronym. So you can see we've got four different areas: energy, ask, systems, and yes. So let's start up here with energy. I want you to consider what or who is zapping your energy right now. So earlier on, when I said we want to be able to scale your income without you putting in more time and energy, I know there would have been an exhale in your body, like a, oh, thank God, like I want to scale my income, I want to support more clients, but I don't have any more energy to give. So I want you to think about what is it right now, or who is it right now, who is zapping your energy? Is it your clients? Is it a certain offer? Is it a certain way of running your business? Maybe live launching is zapping your energy. Maybe your VA is not stepping up to the plate for you right now. What is it that makes you feel energyless? What is it that makes you feel exhausted, overwhelmed, deflated, even? Yeah. And where in your business, therefore, might you be in need of some personal protocols, some different ways of approaching that particular task or person so that your energy is protected? Okay. And we're going to get into systems when we get to that part of the model. But I just for now want you to tap into your own energy. Where does it feel like you have boundless energy and you could take on the world? And where is it feeling heavy? Where are things really like pressing down on you and makes you think, oh, I really don't want to do that today. Oh, I really don't want to send that message. I really don't want to dial into that call. Yeah, that's what I call heavy energy, that feeling of it being harder than it needs to. I want you to get really open and honest with yourself around what is it right now or who is it right now that is zapping your energy. Okay. You might want to pause this video and do that and then come to the next one. The next one is ask, where could you be asking for more support? Okay, where could you be asking for more support and what is it that is stopping you? Do you need to hire, fire, train, or trust? Okay, do you need to hire more people? Is that what's stopping you from asking? Maybe you've got no one to ask. Or is it that you need to fire? Maybe you have got somebody to ask, but you've reached a point where you realize that the role just isn't for them. Maybe it is that you don't necessarily need to fire them, but you need to train them. Maybe you hired them for a role that is no longer a good fit. And that might be because of their skill set, their development, or it may be the tasks have changed, your business has changed, the requirements have changed. So is it that you need to hire, fire, train, or trust? The last one, which could be that you are no longer giving your trust to the person that you would go to for support. And I want you to get really curious around why that might be. Okay. Is it that your delegation skills are holding you back? Or is it something to do with the task itself or the person or the skills that that person is bringing to the table? The person, who maybe joined your business a while ago, have things changed? I want you to, really sit with that and think about if this thing changed, how would that then look? If you hired somebody new, how could that look? If you fired the person or replaced them, how could that look? If you didn't fire them, but you trained them up, how would that look? And if you just allowed yourself to give more trust to that person, to maybe empower them to step up, how might that look? Okay, just want you to get really, really curious with where are you asking for support, where are you not asking for support, and what is it that's holding you back? And of course, the big question is, what do you need to do about it? Then we've got the third area of our easy model, which is down here, which is our systems area. And this one always tends to be a really big one. Where are you not using processes, systems, and automation to save you time, energy, and resources? Okay. Are there, systems in your business that you're using, but they're not maybe the most effective systems? Is it that you are avoiding using automation for some reason? Is it that you do things the way that you've always done them just because you've always done them that way? And actually, if you could embrace a new process or a new way of working, that would save you time and energy. Okay. And I want you to think about not remodeling your entire business, because the last thing I want to do with this little mini training is overwhelm you. But what three systems could you introduce? Okay, and one of those things might be just removing a system that's no longer working and then seeking something different. What three things could you do to really support your business from a systems and a process point of view? And if you've ever struggled with building a process, I want you to just think of it like a simple step-by-step guide of how to do something. Okay, so it might be that you want to start by breaking a task down into three simple steps. And then from those three simple steps, you might want to break each of those steps into another three simple steps so that you get 9 steps. Start by breaking it down into small chunks and then break the small chunks down into even smaller chunks. And I find that often helps rather than trying to break a task down into 25 chunks, because to do that from the get-go feels hard and heavy, whereas to break it down into three simple steps actually feels a lot easier, and then revisit each of those steps and break that down into more bite-sized chunks, okay? So for this area, it may be that you don't know the systems that you could or should be using to save you time and energy, because if you knew what they were, you'd be using them. Yeah. So maybe you need to ask in your mastermind group, in your peer group. Maybe you need to ask your coach, your mentor. Maybe you need to Google it. Yeah. Maybe you need to go off and watch some YouTube videos around that particular task. But I want you to really sit with, where am I embracing systems? Where am I not? Is there a fear around systems? Is there a resistance to process? Is there a resistance to automation? Okay, just get really curious with systems and how you could be using them differently. And if you can, then identify three systems that you could introduce. That would be really, really helpful. And it would help to reduce the time that you're spending, reduce the energy that you're investing. And of course, that would help you speed up and in turn help you grow your income. Okay. And then the final part is this yes part. And again, I find this is whenever I've been asked this question, it's always really insightful. There is always something that I've said yes to that I'm sat there thinking, why did I do that? And so this part of the model is, where are you saying yes? What is it that you're saying yes to when the answer should really be no? Is it that you're being asked to get involved in projects or collaborations? Is it that you're saying yes to doing a live launch when really that's not feeling aligned anymore? Maybe you're saying yes to offers and new ideas that come to you because you're really creative, and you say yes to them because they feel exciting in the moment, but they don't hold that excitement for the long term. And rather than giving up on them, you go through with them. So then that starts to feel heavy and starts to take away your time and your energy. Is it somebody who's asking you a question? So maybe it's not a thing that you're saying yes to, maybe it's a person that you're saying yes to. And maybe that person is in your business, but maybe they're outside of your business. Yeah, so think about inside and outside your business. Think about projects, think about collaborations, think about offers, think about pricing, discounts. Do you say yes to doing a Black Friday offer just because everyone else is and you think you should, but you don't really want to? Are you saying yes to doing a 5-day challenge because you see somebody else doing it and really it doesn't feel good for you? So, where are you losing time, losing energy, losing resources, and actually slowing yourself down because you've said yes when the answer is really no? Okay. Now, once you've identified what it is you're saying yes to and looked for any patterns or trends that emerge from that, then you can start to write yourself a little protocol that says, before I say yes to anything, I want to come and ask myself these questions. Now, for me, the way that I do that is I have a list of questions that asks me to answer to me. Does this align with our three big initiatives for the year? Does this align with the projects that I set out at the beginning of this quarter? Does this feel good? It might be that that one simple question is enough to get you to see things through a different lens. Yeah. Does this really feel good? Am I doing it because I should, or am I doing it because I want to? Am I doing this because somebody else is advising it and actually it doesn't feel good for me, but I don't want to say it? Yeah. So once you've identified what it is you're saying yes to, you can maybe identify then some things that you could do to support yourself to make a different decision next time. Okay. So this is the easy model for simple scaling. And whilst there isn't any money-making strategies in this model, this strategy will help you to gain back time, to gain back energy, to manage your resources in a better way, in a more favorable way. And of course, anything that you do in your business, which drives up the amount of time that you have, drives up the amount of energy that you have, will in turn drive up your income as long as you spend that time and energy on the right things. Okay. So, what I mean by that is imagine in the space of a month, you were able to save yourself 10 hours, you were able to save yourself a whole load of wasted energy. What would you do with those 10 hours? What would you do with that energy? If you go ahead and spend those 10 hours on something, a sales strategy that feels really exciting for you, then you will make more money. If you go and spend those 10 hours on supporting a new client or a new group coaching program that attracts a different type of audience for you, that expands your business, well, then you can see why this is as much of a valuable tool in your scaling as a money making strategy. Okay. Because the way that we manage our time and energy is everything. Okay. So I'll leave it here. I would love you to throw me any questions that you've got. I'm here to answer them all for you.